Hey, future IELTS champs. You ready to take your IELTS speaking test prep to the next level?
Today we're going deep on a mock speaking test.
And get this, we're focusing on something most people overlook. Okay, so let's get started with part 1, the introduction and interview. Could you please tell me your full name?
Good morning. My name is Sarah Mitchell.
And what should I call you?
You can just call me Sarah.
Where do you live now?
I currently live in San Francisco, California.
What do you like most about your neighborhood?
Well, I love the vibrant atmosphere, and being so close to the waterfront is amazing. There are always interesting events happening, and the diversity of people and cultures is something I really appreciate.
Is there anything you would change about where you live?
That's a tough one. I suppose if I could change one thing, it would be the cost of living. San Francisco is quite expensive, and it can be challenging for many people to afford housing here.
Could you describe your typical day?
Sure. So I usually wake up around 7 a.m. The first thing I do is make myself a cup of coffee while I check my emails. After that, I spend some time getting ready for the day.
What time do you usually wake up?
I typically wake up around 7 a.m.
What is the first thing you do in the morning?
The first thing I do is brew a cup of coffee and go through my emails to see if there's anything urgent that needs my attention.
How do you usually spend your evenings?
In the evenings, I enjoy unwinding by cooking dinner, watching a show, or reading a book. I also like to spend time with friends or go out for dinner occasionally.
How often do you use technology in your daily life?
I use technology quite frequently throughout the day, from my smartphone to my laptop. It's essential for both my work and personal life.
What is your favorite gadget or app?
Ooh, favorite gadget, definitely my smartphone. I use it for everything, staying connected with friends, managing my calendar, and even for fitness tracking. Oh, and one of my favorite apps is a meditation app. It really helps me relax and focus.
How has technology changed the way you communicate with others?
Well, technology has completely revolutionized communication. We can now connect instantly through messaging apps, video calls, and social media. It makes it so much easier to maintain relationships regardless of distance. However, I do think it's essential to balance digital communication with face-to-face interactions.
All right, Sarah, let's move on to part 2, the long term. This is where you'll have a chance to speak for a bit longer. You'll have 1 minute to prepare to speak about a time you had to learn something new.
Okay.
Ready for the task. Describe a time when you had to learn something new. You should say what you had to learn, why you had to learn it, how you learned it, and how you felt after learning it. You can jot down some notes if you want. I'll let you know when your minute is up. All right, Sarah, your minute's up. You can start speaking now.
So, a time when I had to learn something new. Well, it was when I decided to learn how to code. I had zero experience beforehand. I wanted to, enhance my skills for my job in digital marketing. I figured if I understood how websites actually work, I could be more effective and communicate better with developers. So to actually learn, I enrolled in this online course. It was great because it had structured lessons and hands-on projects, which really helped. But I also, watched tons of YouTube tutorials and spent a lot of time on coding forums, asking questions and getting feedback. It was definitely challenging at first, especially when I'd run into bugs in my code. So frustrating. But as I kept practicing and applying what I learned, I started to feel more confident in my abilities. And by the time I finished the course, I felt like this huge sense of accomplishment. I was so proud of myself. Plus, learning to code opened up some new opportunities for me at work. And honestly, it even changed the way I approach problem solving in general.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, Sarah, now we'll move on to part 3. This is the discussion section. We'll be talking about some broader themes related to learning and skills development.
Sounds good.
Do you think it's important for people to constantly learn new skills throughout their lives?
Absolutely. I mean, the world is constantly changing, right? New technologies and industries are popping up all the time. To stay competitive, to adapt, we need to constantly be acquiring new knowledge and skills. It's essential.
What are some ways people can keep learning even after they finish formal education?
Oh, there are so many options. Online courses, workshops, webinars, those are all great for flexible learning, reading books, articles, industry publications that can also help you stay up to date. And then there's conferences and networking events. Those provide awesome opportunities to learn from experts and peers in the field.
In your opinion, what are some of the most valuable skills for the future?
Well, skills related to technology are definitely going to be crucial, things like digital literacy and data analysis. But critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, those are timeless, essential skills that will always be in high demand. Oh, and I can't forget communication and collaboration skills. Those are super important for success in any field.
How has technology impacted the way people learn new skills?
I think technology has totally revolutionized how we learn. Online learning platforms give you access to this massive amount of information and resources. We can learn from experts around the world at our own pace, on our own time, and technology makes it so easy to connect with others who share your interests and collaborate on projects.
Do you think there are any downsides to learning new skills primarily through technology?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are always two sides to the coin. Sometimes online learning can lack that personal interaction, that guidance you get in a traditional classroom. It's also really important to be careful about the quality and credibility of online information. Not everything you read online is accurate.
What advice would you give to someone who is feeling overwhelmed by the need to learn new skills?
First off, it's totally normal to feel overwhelmed. The pace of change these days is crazy. My advice: start by figuring out which skills are most relevant to your goals, whether it's for your career or just personal interests. Break those learning goals down into smaller, manageable steps. Focus on one skill at a time and celebrate your progress along the way.
Great advice, Sarah. Thank you so much for sharing your insights today. That wraps up our IELTS Speaking mock test deep dive. I hope this has given all you listeners out there a better understanding of what the IELTS speaking test is like, what to expect on exam day, and how to approach those tricky situations where you might need to ask for clarification. Remember, practice makes perfect, and speak as naturally and confidently as you can. Good luck with your IELTS journey, everyone.